In this video, I want to talk and investigate with you the subject of what love is, and where and when it may be found. This is perhaps the most important thing we could meet in relationship to talk over today. Our human hearts, for the most part, have shriveled due to a disconnect which has occurred in our lives. We have lost the ability to truly love. Although we use the word frequently, I fear we have lost all understanding of what that word actually means. We greatly confuse the word love with our psychological conceptual habit of ever seeking attachment in relationship. We become attached to partners, family members and friends, and we suffer greatly when they divorce us, look to another, leave us, or even die. We suffer jealousies and fear that we may lose that which we are attached to, and have come to find a sense of continuing pleasure living with. Is this love, this attachment, real love? What does the word love point to? Love cannot be attachment, for attachment has many obvious stings in its tail. Love, by its nature, can never coexist with suffering, although suffering, if closely observed and questioned, may lead to love. But love never leads to suffering. Love is related to a deep sense of connection to a religious life. I am not talking of the authoritarian, dogmatic, traditional religions of church and temple we are all so familiar with in this life. I am talking of true religion, a religion which changes the quality of your life. This is nothing you can follow. It comes from a never-ending observation of what you are, moment by moment. And what are you? You likely identify with a name, 1, 2, or 3 words. And your mind is ever full of words. Words are symbols, pointers to other things. And we approach our lives behind walls of words. And this fact may be a major reason our hearts have lost the joy and beauty of love. Love is relationship to life, to the actual movement of what life is. Yet we are predominantly connected to words. This gives us a clue to the riddle we face. We live in thinking, which is knowledge, and this constantly moving educated psychological principle colours the world we all see. Without thought, we could never come to conflict, because it is this specific colouring by each brain or group of brains which brings conceptual divisions to our lives. And divided as we are because of this inner knowledge-based movement, thinking, we live in perpetual conflict. Life is all around us and inside us. It walks with us, birth to death, and perhaps before and after. Life is love, and life is death, and life is great beauty. But life, the only and ever-present creative, living, loving movement of this universe, can never coexist with duality and conflict. Neither can love ever be brought to our lives. For we live our lives in thought, which is memory, which is the past. The past, that which is dead and over, that which we refuse to bury, can never live in harmony with the creative present moment. Love may be found when that which it is not has ended. Love is not memory, knowledge, or thought. Love is not an ideology, an attachment, nor an identity. Love is not an image. The word love is not love. Love is not choice, nor a matter reserved only for members of the opposite sex. Love has nothing to do with sex, which is a mere continuity of pleasure repeated from the past, ever driven onwards by thought. The arising of memories from previous past pleasurable experiences. Love is not fear, nor pain, nor desire, nor confusion. If any of these are present, love is denied. Love, this elusive quality which is what our world needs to find. Why? Because love will revolutionise our behaviour. It will bring us to find true relationship to each other in this present moment. Love is absent of imagery, and our imagery divides us. Love is the only energy which can bring a true psychological revolution to our lives, and such a revolution is the only potential for a better society. We have built our current society out of viewing our lives through contradictory and competing images. This is the ever-present learned psychological activity which destroys all relationship. We must initially see the absolute importance of questioning and entering into an investigation to establish the possibility of this confused, attached, fearful, desirous, so ambitious, conceptual, and educated self-seeking inner psychological movement to come to a total ending. It is this inner movement which is destroying all our lives. It is this inner chatter and replay of repetitive images which has broken our connection to life, and so to death, to love, and to beauty. We can never approach love positively. We can only negate that which blocks it. This is the inner movement of thought manifesting a conceptual self. This movement is an identity established over time, a movement of words and memories within, recorded and replayed, an automatic movement. Can you listen to your inner chatter without interfering in any way with what you are listening to? If you can, the traditional pattern structure educated into you will begin to reveal itself. This is your societal conditioning. This movement carries information about nationality, ideologies, religious beliefs, political concerns, all centered around the concept that my life is lived conceptually. My life is lived predominantly in inner words and images. I am an identity which continues from the birth of the body to its death. Love may ultimately become to be found by those with incessant psychological stamina and dedication to this task, to a life lived without images. A meeting of this moment from the inner foundation of a completely silent mind. And if one can travel so far into this greatly uncharted territory, love will bring death, the death of the conceptual, never-ending words and images of an egocentric life. Death and life may meet together, in a mind not concentrated on continuing. Time may come to an end, for thought is movement of time. Thought is the known is the past. The future is the same past's conceptual continuity. There is no time in this universe, and so no birth, no death, living and dying are now one movement. This is life in completion, void of sense of inward self, and this is where humanity finds its true reset. Such an inner revolution instantly sees us all seeing the same world, conceptual colours now removed from life. Timeless, we come to meet now. The only time there ever was. And we meet in a place identical for each of us, this present moment. Removed now from the divisive process of ever seeking completion in a conceptual future. We come into relationship, now free from the many conceptual allegiances to dividing principles of educated continuity in time. And we may come to find love, and love may come to lead our lives. No longer the intellect, which is steeped in its own sense of self-importance, and so ever a conflict and war among men. This is perhaps no easy task, but this is how we save our world. We end that which is destroying it. This destructive energy is this inner conceptual movement of what we are. Our psychological revolution, if this is even possible, a change in the current mundane, divisive and repetitive murmurings of our confused, fearful and pleasure-driven brains. This is the touch paper which can come to ignite the flame of a truly loving world. We have innate potential to do so much better than building back better. We have potential to end. Only in ending will we ever find the true beginning. And love and death and life may be different words for the very same thing. And we may come to find all three when we end that which came before.
You say a mind that has no fear of authority is capable of great love. Now, is this an invitation to kick over the traces?
Not at all, sir. On the contrary. I mean, one has to find out what we mean by love. Is love pleasure? Is love desire? Is love limited to sex? Or is love of the country, love of the family, the love of the country, and so on? When we talk of love, what does it mean?
Well, it's something to do with attraction, is it?
Which is all pleasure. Pleasure, sexual pleasure, and so on. And is love, could we put it this way? Could we look at it and find out what is not love?
Perhaps that might be easier, but can you have love, for instance, without a repetition of pleasure?
That's just it. That's the whole point, you see. I mean, is love jealousy? Can there be love if there is ambition?
I don't know, can there be?
Obviously not.
Yes.
If there is any form of violence, sexual or any form of violence, can there be love? Anger, hatred, aggression, how can love be?
Why is it we all so desperately want to be loved?
Because we are so desperately empty, lonely.
But you say that loving on the whole is more important than being loved.
Yes, of course, obviously, which means one must understand this emptiness, this loneliness in oneself. So this question of love is really an extraordinary thing, because a mind that is frightened obviously cannot love. A mind that is self-concerned with its own ambitions, greeds, fears, guilt, suffering, has no capacity to love. A mind that is divided in itself, that lives in fragments, obviously cannot love. A mind that lives in division. Division implies sorrow. That is the root cause of sorrow, division. Between you and me, between me and they, or we and they. The black, the white, the purple, the pink, and all the rest of it. So wherever there is a division, a fragmentation, love cannot be. Because goodness is the state of non-division. The word itself means indivisible.
Like so many others, we were hurt financially by COVID. We are looking to hopefully get some small financial help to contribute to the possibility of continuing our work here. Making these films does take an immense amount of time, and certain repetitive financial commitments need be repetitively met. So if you like the work we are doing here and would like to support us to continue doing it, if you would like to become part of a team seeking real change in the lives of humanity, then if you can afford even a cup of coffee to help support our work, may I introduce you to our Patreon page. I thank anyone who takes the time to watch these films. You are the main backbone support to our work. And I thank anyone who is generous enough of heart and mind, and who has the means, of course, to help us in our attempts to continue doing so. These are difficult times for all of humanity, for all of us at least, not rich. We will do best through it all if we can come together and support each other. Best wishes to you all, and thanks above all for watching and listening. This is ever the most important activity any of us can bring to our lives.